What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a new YouTube video, and today it will be a little bit different because I didn't manage to film day 3 and day 4 of week 6 of the prep separately. I was in my hometown club, finally in a proper powerlifting gym where you have freaking like metal plates. I was training, I think, mostly on a Rogue Ohio power bar, which isn't the stiffest, but with the metal plates itself, it makes tons of difference. The difference was unreal, especially on the bench. For comparison, in the commercial gym, I believe the bench is 2 to 3 centimeters maybe lower. So here it was a bit different to set up because I was able actually to put my legs more under my butt, so to say, put them further back and generate way more leg drive. This was on day 3, so we did our heavy bench session on a Friday evening. Went very, very well. I benched 170 for a top single, which moved extremely easy. And yeah, I would definitely give it like a solid RP 7. I could have probably done another 2 to 3 reps easily. Even though, once again, due to the changes in leverages, the weight feels extremely different. It feels way more heavy, but I mean, the speed was there, so no worries on that side. As long as it feels heavy but still moves, I'm happy. If it feels too easy, then we're not moving heavy weights, and that's not what we want, right? I did some back offs, even got a little back off with 155 for 4 in. Remember, I think I finished last block with 155 for 5 reps, so this is like almost getting into PR territory. So the next few weeks the back offs will definitely be in PR territory. And then we moved on to the next day. I trained my 4th day of the week on a Saturday, and I just included both trainings because I mean it would be weird to just show the benching. So let's hop into the deadlifting. The deadlifts, as expected, where was the lift where the bar, or rather the proper metal plates, had the most impact. It was ridiculous how much of an impact it makes to put on these metal plates. Like literally, I would say probably my slack pull was half of my normal slack pull. So what is the slack pull? The slack pull is the initial or the initiation of the pull before the weight actually leaves the ground. What you want to achieve is that the bar is already in a position, or you are already in a position that creates tension and already pulls the bar almost off of the floor. So once you really inject or initiate the main pulling movement, the bar comes off the floor more easily and doesn't need an initial second until the tension finally arrived and you can pull through. And you will see it on the 285. My top set was a 285 single. We went up 7.5 kilos from last week, as explained before, and the 285 actually moved well. They were heavy off the floor, very slow, very different feeling. But the silver lining here is definitely that the lockouts are still no problem. There's no problem with the lockouts whatsoever. If I can keep my hip in position, keep my hip low, and get my legs underneath my body, I will be able to get the bar up. I will be able to lock the weight out. There's no question in my mind. I can easily lock out, I would say probably over 320 kilos right now. But the question is, will I be able to get up 320 kilos with a solid and favorable starting position so that I can actually be able to lock it out? Once the weight tilts forward and I have too much of a forward pull, the leverages will make it impossible for me to lock it out. So this is the big question mark, and it continues to be a question mark. However, it's not like we're 2 weeks out, right? These singles that I'm doing are singles that I'm doing 8 weeks out. Maybe by now it's like the 7th week has begun, but this Saturday I trained at was exactly 8 weeks out from the competition. So I have 8 more weeks to fine tune and to get my shit right, to bring the most optimal package to the platform and deliver a potentially very nice performance, and a very strong performance too. So I'm looking forward to that. And having said that, I also included once again pause deadlifts in my back offs, really train the starting position, to really train my muscles and my body to feel comfortable in this position, because I am thinking that everything over 300 will be a proper test whether I can keep my hips low, my legs spread out and underneath me, and keep the tension from the starting position. That will be the main test. And for that, I think the paused sumos are the best weapons to prepare for. Next up, I technically had my secondary squat day, right? I always did my secondary squats, so my light triples on this day, or my rather light triples, followed by some back off work. What I decided to do was take on the opportunity that I had to be training in my hometown gym and actually put on next week's top set. So I just squatted, this was a Saturday, I just squatted 230 for 4 reps of a top set, and then also a top single or a fatigue single with 250 kilos 4 days prior to this session. So after 2 hours of deadlifts, I actually decided, hey, fuck it, we'll roll with it and we'll try hitting the numbers from next week in this session. I felt great, even though I was not nurtured properly, or like nutrition was not on point, and like definitely also the water wasn't, and was very hot, but I still said, hey, fuck it, we'll go for the set from next week. And the 240 moved surprisingly well. You will see that for the first 2 reps, or first 2 to 3 reps, the speed was good. Only the last one, I had a little bit of a hiccup, or my tension was fading because I was also pretty exhausted. I mean, usually I do these kind of sets very first on my Wednesday workout, and so I was pretty exhausted to go into the session anyways. And then, but to hit the numbers I wanted, to go up 10 kilo from last week, really, really, really great sign that the squat is moving insanely well. I am so stoked to see where the squat will get to, because I honestly believe 290 is a realistic number, and I'm very happy to know that even though the walkouts and the squats themselves with the bumper plates in my wobbly gym next to where I live are altering the way I go down in the squat, because I want to avoid too much wiggle on the bar, I'm very happy that regardless of that, my squatting with metal plates and steel plates is still good. It didn't change the movement pattern, and I was able to successfully execute both my top set with 4 and my fatigue single with 260 kg. And this puts me at, or 260 is right around 90% of my attempt of hitting 290 in competition, and hitting this after a 2-hour session is pretty amazing. I'm very hyped about this session. It really filled me up with joy, because it was the very first session I had in a long time in my hometown gym, and it's always something different to train in your gym versus say in a commercial gym where you have like a Zumba course next to you, and there are people asking you whether they can have this from the platform or that or whatever. And here I mean, I even put on my own music from our music box, or to our music box, and just rolled with it, and it was amazing to be back. And I'm very, very hyped, and I'm pretty confident that despite the slower start off the ground on deadlifts, I will still be able to prepare both mentally and physically to get rid of this obstacle by the time the competition comes around. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it as always. Wish you all the love, all the power. Have a good one.